Good afternoon and welcome to News Around Africa with me, Esther Wilson. In Abidjan, Ivory Coast, for decades, many of Ivory Coast's biggest consumer markets were built around international companies with established brands, global supply chains, and deep financial resources. But a number of Ivorian businesses are now finding room to grow. From petroleum distribution and digital banking to cosmetics manufacturing, these companies are entering sectors where foreign firms have long been dominant, building customer bases at home and looking beyond Ivory Coast borders. Their rise does not signal the retreat of multinational companies, which remain major players across the economy. Instead, the experiences of Petro Ivory, Jamo and Kaira Holdings show how some domestic firms are competing by moving quickly, understanding their markets, and investing in production, fuel change. When Petro Ivory entered Ivory Coast petroleum sector in 1994, international oil companies controlled much of the market. Today, the company says it is the country's largest locally owned fuel distributor and ranks third overall behind Total Energies and Shell. Sebastian Krio Yus, Petro Ivory's chief executive, said the company's founders believed a domestic business could compete by combining knowledge of the market with international standards. In the 1990s, the market was managed exclusively by multinationals, Krio Yus told Al Jazeera. My late father's idea was that, given the local expertise we had acquired in this industry, it was important to offer something authentic to the local market while strictly adhering to international standards. In DR Congo, the World Health Organization has warned that Ebola is spreading in the Democratic Republic of Congo more quickly than in any previous outbreak. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus told reporters on Thursday that the Ebola outbreak in the DRC in 2018 to 2020 took more than 10 months to reach 2,000 confirmed cases, but this time it took only 2 months for there to be over 2,000 confirmed cases. It is now the third largest Ebola outbreak on record, Tedros said. In the past month, it has expanded faster than any previous outbreak. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in the DRC increased to 2,124 on Thursday, according to government data. The country's Public Health Institute said in its latest report that 51 new cases were detected on Wednesday in the eastern province of Ituri and North Kivu. The DRC reported 62 new cases on Thursday, increasing its total number of confirmed infections to 2,773. Though the WHO has said the true tally could be at least double that. The DRC's 17th Ebola outbreak was declared on May 15 after several deaths in Ituri, the mineral-rich northern eastern province patrolled by several armed groups. Cases of Ebola, which spread through close contact and infected bodily fluids, have so far been found in 5 DRC provinces and neighboring Uganda, though the vast majority are in Ituri. The WHO chief highlighted that over 80% of new cases were being detected outside known contact lists, showing that transmission chains are still being missed. In Uganda, Uganda's government has suspended all school trips in the wake of Thursday evening's bus crash that killed at least 20 pupils and 1 adult who were taking part in an educational tour. Dozens of others, including staff, were injured in the accident in Kapchorwa district, eastern Uganda. Preliminary investigations suggest the bus had a mechanical fault before the driver lost control on Chekweti Hill, a stretch of road that has been the site of several serious crashes, according to local officials. Uganda records thousands of road deaths a year, but this incident is one of the country's deadliest involving children in recent times. As an immediate precautionary measure, we must do something about the safety of our children, Education Minister John Chrysostom Muyingo said, announcing the temporary ban on trips until a full investigation was completed. The traffic police spokesman Michael Kananura described what had happened on Thursday. The driver reportedly lost control of the vehicle, which veered off the road, struck a large stone along the roadside and overturned, he said. The bus, carrying pupils from King David Junior School in Deje crashed at about 200 local time, 1700 GMT at Chekwet village. Sadly, 20 children and one adult, who happens to be the founder and director, Mr. Tedo Serkedi, have gone to be with the Lord, local government minister Balam Ateni Barugara posted on X while he was at the scene. Videos shared by eyewitnesses show the bus badly damaged as local residents rushed to help the injured children. The pupils were returning from a study tour, with local media reporting they had visited the CP Falls, a tourist area. Uganda records thousands of road deaths every year, with speeding, poorly maintained vehicles, and dangerous roads among the leading causes, according to traffic authorities. The latest crash comes amid renewed concern over the safety of school transport after several serious bus accidents were reported in the country in recent weeks. A Ghanaian TikToker has been sentenced to a year in prison after pleading guilty to charges of offensive conduct and publication of false news over posts she had made about President John Mahama. Last month and early this month, Camila Alassane shared a series of videos alleging, without providing evidence, that the president sacrificed 32 cows as part of a ritual to help him win the 2024 general election. The 43-year-old also alleged that a government initiative to distribute sanitary pads to recent flood victims was an attempt to conceal what she had claimed he had done. The judge turned down an appeal for a lighter punishment, ruling that a custodial sentence would discourage similar conduct. Prosecutors had argued that Alassane, who has more than 70,000 followers on TikTok, had made a series of false and defamatory allegations against the president. Her widely shared videos, which led to Alassane's arrest earlier this month, prompted renewed debate in Ghana about misinformation on social media and how to strike the balance between criminal sanctions and freedom of expression. The judge said that the sentence was necessary to curb the spread of falsehood, which is becoming prevalent on social media. This is not the first time an influencer has been jailed in Ghana. Last September, popular TikToker David Kodo Aful, known as Kwame Nkrumah II, was sentenced to 7 months in prison after being found guilty of making a death threat and producing offensive conduct conducive to breach of the peace. He had threatened to kill Mahama and members of parliament in a viral video. Last year, the president said that his government was considering ways to sanitize social media, instructing the authorities to track down and arrest those spreading misinformation and disinformation. I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that if you people falsehood, hate speech, and make utterance to cause fear and panic, we will find you, he said at a press conference. A year ago, Communication Minister Samuel Nati George announced plans to introduce legislation to combat the issue. The proposed law would create a legal framework for enforcement while seeking to safeguard free speech. Ghana is widely regarded as one of West Africa's strongest democracies, with constitutional protections for freedom of expression and a vibrant media landscape. However, concerns have grown in recent years over the spread of false information on social media, prompting calls for stronger regulation, while rights groups warn against measures that could restrict free speech. That's all we have time for in this edition of News Around Africa, and I'm Esther Wilson.